Alright, hello everybody, my name is Jay Hillix. Thanks again for joining me on this video. Why don't we jump into some of the references here that I used for putting this all together. Supercharger, and I think it was this guy. Alright, so and some of these references are references for gotchas as you start to put things together that you're going to come across. Some of it helps out for regards to tuning, and some of them. So basically, what I've learned from this is not too much information out there for modifying or swapping a LT4 Supercharger on an L83 or an L86 or maybe for LT1 there's more info, but there's not a lot of info, so I had to piecemeal things together from different resources. So these are just some references that I've used to kind of piece things together from people that have done it for different applications. But so starting off with some books that I would recommend, and this is kind of goes back to just tuning itself. So this book has been pretty much my Bible for when it comes to tuning. It is a little bit outdated, but it's still got a lot of valuable information in it. So this is actually just an ebook, but Master EFI Tuner is a really good book. So it covers kind of the basic fundamentals, kind of puts up some governance around steps to take as you're tuning. Let's see, it covers some information about using HP tuners, also using EFA Live, so kind of the two important software packages that are out there for folks that are modifying their vehicles. The other nice thing is the case studies at the end of the book. They cover not only GM vehicles but also Ford vehicles. I think one Dodge, I think it was a Viper, and then also different types of performance packages that people have. So one's just a stock application, and they just want to tune to get the most out of what they got stock. Another one's basic bolt-ons, and then another one's forced induction. So it's really good. I mean, it's $20. I would highly recommend purchasing this book. If you really want to get into technical details and kind of some engineering principles around engine design, I would highly recommend this book from McGraw-Hill. It's called Internal Combustion Engine Fundamentals. This is a college level book, but it is the best. I mean, if you want the ins and outs of engine design, and when you start getting into playing with the different parameters that you're tuning, this is a theory that goes behind a lot of that. So it's really, really good if you're interested in that, or just want to, even if you don't use it for that often, but you're just kind of curious on where things come from. I'd highly recommend this. So I do own both of these. I do own both digital copies. This is pretty expensive for a hard copy, but you can find the digital version that's a little bit cheaper. So some other good information out there for just Gen 5 in general. I probably should have said that in the first video, but being 2016, this is a Gen 5 vehicle. So tuning is going to be a lot different compared to Gen 4, Gen 3. But for some good information, just in a generic sense about Gen 5 engines, Holley's got this website here that's provides some good details about Gen 5, some specs on them, kind of the big changes that they made, that GM made with Gen 5, all about the engine components and kind of stuff. Some differences, they cover LT5, LT4, LT1, L83, L86, a lot of neat info. So I'd recommend checking out that site. Yes, when it comes to service manuals, there is a couple options for that. One option, I want to get the OEM service manual. I believe Helm is the preferred distributor for OEM service manuals for lots and lots of car manufacturers. So this is, if you wanted to get the ones they use in the shop, this would be the place to go. They are pretty expensive. as many people probably already know. So for me, I got my supercharger off of a 2015 LT4 Z06. So I'm using the service manual for that when it comes to, wiring things or just general information. But the paper one you can see $475. They do have a USB option, which is a little bit cheaper, but not much. My preferred method is, I would love to have one of these options here, but not really. In the past, on my older truck, at a GM truck, I did purchase the service manual, but man, it wasn't this expensive. It seems like it's gone up in the last couple of years. Mine was a 2001, and I guess over those years, it's really gone up. There are some other options out there for you. All data, Chilton, Haynes manuals. Those are some basic repair manuals that would be useful if you needed to have like a routing diagram or schematic. But they don't really give you the depth as the actual service manual. If you want these shop level service quality, and you don't want to pay these prices, there is another very useful tool out there that's for the public, and this is through Acdelco. It's called Acdelco TS, and sign up is free. You do have to pay for the service if you actually wanted to look at something, and they have a couple options. So this is what I went with. You can pay it. You can pay 3-day increments. I think it's $20. You can pay in I think monthly increments, which is a little bit more, and then yearly. So depending on how much money you want to spend, $20 to a couple $100 to I think several $100, you can choose that. I like this option because I'm most likely not going to need the manual, a lot of information out of that manual. So I can just come in here, pay the $20, and go to the places where I need information from, and then get my information and just let it expire, and I don't plan on using it that much. So that's some good resources for when it comes to service manuals. That does come in handy if you need a description of how something works, like the bypass valve. I'd prefer to get that information from the OEM, and that is where you're going to get it, is here. So we already talked about the ICT billet swap guide. That one's really good. ADM or C8 Parts LSA conversion store, they got good information. TPS Motorsports, where I was showing they have the supercharger only for $1,400. That's another good source. There's a couple of threads out there that kind of talk about some of the hurdles that people have experienced going through the install process or swapping over an LT4 to their application. And if any of these fortunately didn't load. Well, anyway, so those are really good references. YouTube channels, another good resource. So Tuning School is pretty good. They got some good videos out there about Gen 5 tuning. All this information is pretty much on tuning. Pretty sure people have heard of Goat Rope Garage if you've been tuning on Gen 5s. He's got a lot of good information. P. Moore's got some good info on doing some different things with trucks. The videos I looked at were specifically for Whipple, so you had an L83 engine and was putting a Whipple on it, and that had some good info. Short Stack Garage was pretty good for a high level swap of putting an LT4 on an L83. But anyway, so this is some good information in terms of references about tuning, some references about just basic, fundamentals, the way to more complex tuning, and basic information about, Gen 5s and basic info and caveats around just the install process and service manuals and stuff. I'll see you on the next video.